episode of Raw Refined.
Yeah.
And
Raw Refined.
happy spring break. If you don't know already, I go by the name Red. I'm with my boys Christian.
How you doing?
And Germ. And we have a special guest.
Yeah.
A very special guest by the name of Alcina, artist, spiritual
Embodiment coach.
Yeah. And like,
Welcome
musician.
to the panel.
Thank you for having me.
yeah.
Welcome.
The first time we heard about you, we heard through Christian, you were trying to teach him some embodiment work.
Yeah, she was teaching me some embodiment work, you know.
But it seems like you just got bodied. You did?
Christian, tell them. What happened?
I don't know. Some locker room talk, you know. Some locker room talk, you know. It's like with the boys.
How would you express to our audience what an embodiment coach is and what it entails?
So let's start with the word embodiment. And what does embodiment mean? And embodiment, embodiment in your body. Okay. And so as an embodiment coach, my role is to help you get out of your head, get out of your mind, and into your body. And the reason why that's important is because our mind is what travels between the past, present, and future.
Yes.
And we know the importance of living in the present moment because the present is the gift. In order to access that, you have to be in your body. You have to be connected.
Damn, I didn't even know the present was
That's
present.
deep.
Did y'all know the
Why,
present?
why do you
is
think
in
they call it the present? Yeah.
I never thought about it. Oh, God.
Yeah. That's deep. She just broke that down on a couple different levels.
Yeah.
You know,
What made you get into this art? Would you call it an art?
I call it.
It's like an art, like just like
call it
helping,
spiritual art for sure.
helping people. Yeah.
What made you want to heal people?
It's a reflection of me.
Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
You know, like I had to heal myself. And in healing myself, I'm like, oh, it's not passion that drives us. It's our pain. It's not passion that drives our purpose. It's our pain that drives our purpose. And my pain, there was a lot.
Yeah.
And that it just ended up transmuting into what we call coaching.
Okay.
That's amazing. So
that's
let's
amazing.
dive into that since you said that. Let's go into your beginnings, 'cause I hear it in your music. How you speak on you had to go through some things and find yourself and kind of go through this process to find a newer version of yourself. So where did this all start? Like where were you born? How was your upbringing growing up?
Yeah. So I was born in Camden, Jersey.
Oh, cool. Whoa,
East
that threw me
Coast?
off.
From the East?
Wait, do you know anything about Camden?
Nothing at all.
Camden?
Okay, so Camden, Jersey used to be known as Carjack City. Like
What?
literally,
Really?
it's
I'm aware of
the
that.
hood. Like
Oh,
You was in the hood?
poverty.
You was in the hood with it?
Yeah,
Hello.
Wow.
you got immigrant parents, like
Yeah.
family.
Low income, yeah.
your first generation.
First generation, yeah.
Born here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
And in order for me to thrive and to grow, I had to get out of that. I grew up in Pensacola, next door to Camden, and things happen, and God, will remove you out of a situation or will force you out of a situation. So my family had a family restaurant, and we were known in the community, in the Vietnamese community, and our home got robbed. The restaurant got robbed, like everything that we had, my mother's wedding ring.
What?
And I was 8 years old. And that's when that forced us to go back to Boston, where my mom was originally from. Like her mom was there.
Yeah.
So that forced us to go to Boston because we're like, we can't stay here.
Yeah, it's not safe. Like,
Yeah, it's not safe.
too much stuff going on.
Yeah. But, I grew up with immigrant parents and, of course, living in low income and doing what you got to do. And there's programming in that.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
And I would say the first big event that shifted my life was when I was diagnosed with diabetes
Oh,
at 13.
Wow.
dang. That's
At the age of 13, you were diagnosed with diabetes.
So you can't tell. You look at me, it's like, oh, she's normal. And then, like, I have a condition that there is no cure, but it's treatable. And I almost got into a cardiac arrest. And when that happened, it really shifted my mind around life. I don't care for petty arguments. I don't care for like what life is so valuable. So that was like the first lesson. Ooh. And when I was in Boston, I mean, growing up, being the token Asian family, like this for me is comfortable, you know. Like I grew up with a lot of diversity. My high school was very diverse.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And also growing up in Boston, you had to have thick skin. Like people were, you know, you got people getting jumped out here, like fighting. And if you know the 13-year-old Alcina and who I am today, completely two different people.
For real,
two different people.
Wow. Yeah. And that's like how like we kind of connect, like me and you, like through like Instagram, and I just came again. What did you do? And like oh, I mean, because like we, you know, like mutual friends that I knew, and then so I reached out to you, and like, you know, so like we kind of connected, and similar.
It's like I see myself in you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see yourself in Christian?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like we like
how so? Just
ready? It's deeper than what you see on the surface.
I knew you about to hit me with that speech.
No.
no, that shit.
This is real. I see myself in everyone.
Everyone.
Yeah,
everyone. I see fragments of God in everyone. It's very like it gets real deep, but it's actually very surface. It's pretty simple. It's like we are all very reflective of each other, you know. We know what's going on. We know.
Sometimes we all brothers and sisters up in here. Like, we're connected somehow. Yeah.
I do love how open you are with your Instagram. I have to say, like,
what do you mean by open?
You be crying and shit. I almost shed
vulnerability. Yeah.
I almost shed a thug tear. Oh my God. There was one post you did. You said 10 years ago. Oh, yeah, you were listening to your old self, and you were talking about how you stopped making music because you believed you couldn't do it. And we kind of have this term that everybody says it. I'm him. I'm her.
I'm her.
You know,
I am him.
Yeah,
I'm him, Duncan.
It's just instilling self-confidence within yourself. Yeah. Can you speak about how the world will convince you that you're not what you think you are?
Oh yeah.
Can you speak on that?
I think there's a time when we're all very receptive. What is
receptive?
That? Not receptive when we are
very easily influenced.
Yeah.
Come on.
You guys are lying.
Got it? What's the word?
You're saying
influential? I don't know. Like,
what is the word that's going to pop?
Damn, Urban Dictionary. But
yes, you're easily influenced and
impressionable.
Thank you. Yes.
Vocabulary is amazing.
So when you are at a younger age, right, and you are careless about what you're doing your art, you're doing your gifts, like you don't care, you don't got anything else to do, you don't got bills to pay, you're making your art, and along the journey someone told you, yo, that ain't good, like that's not good enough, or you're not ready. I've been told, sorry sweetie, you didn't make it. It wasn't because of your voice, it's because of how you look.
Yeah. So they,
you told us that story at Starbucks. That really hit home.
That hit for me too, because like they put you like in a box, in a limited belief, and you actually believe that, but like
the look,
But the thing is, like at that time in your life, you don't know, right?
Yeah.
You're impressionable, right? You are your heart is more open. Like you're thinking, like we're friends. What you mean? Like you got my back, and you don't realize, damn, like that limiting belief that you put upon me is actually a projection of how you see yourself, or the limitations that you hold. You actually don't see it for yourself, and so you put that onto me, and me not knowing my self-worth or my values or who I am at 18, I take that in because my brain is still developing, but it's a part of the journey.
100%.
That was a crucial experience for you. I feel like that determined where you are now,
I think it's one of many, and I didn't realize what an impact it had on me until I went through a coaching, training to really dive in and realize, dang, I got to talk to my 18-year-old self. I got to talk to my 13-year-old self and let her know, I know you wanted this.
Yes.
And I know you just, it wasn't your time, and it's okay. Why? Because I got you.
Mm-hmm.
I got you now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, for through that experience, like, is that like you had to like pretty much tapped in like internally with your inner child and just talk to yourself, and then like just replay like and just forgive yourself, and like and then that really
How was that process of healing yourself?
That healing, inner healing,
to get to where you are now. Not saying that you're over it already, because there's still work to do. Oh, you're healed.
and fully healed.
I'm healed.
How can you say that though? What gives you that impression that you're healed?
Because my soul is whole. Like you are healed.
Okay.
Like you are healed.
Yes.
When you put it into practice and you practice mindfulness with enough time, attention, repetition, positive reinforcement, you're going to feel what that feels like, and you cannot unsee once you see it.
Oh yeah.
I feel it.
That's powerful. Let me ask. So, was growing up first generation in like somewhat of a traditional household, was that also an influence and definitely played a role in that whole aspect of, this isn't, this is not what you should do, or, this is the route you should go. And coming as a first generation, traditionally, you're supposed to honor your parents. I know in a lot of Asian cultures, what they see fit is almost like, I must honor them and go this route, whether it's my path or not, which is a very crazy thing when I start to think about, but that is such a common thing. Was that something that kind of, took you down a different path where it's like you felt lost at a certain point, or it's like, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, I'm not on my own sort of thing? Was that something that played a role?
I love that question, and I appreciate how thoughtful the question is, because unless you are a first generation, like you don't realize that that's a thing. You don't realize the cultural conflict that happens growing up in a traditional Vietnamese household. But then when you walk out the door, you are having to show up as an American, but you're not really American because you don't look, white. And and then that dynamic that early on you have to practice for yourself and decide like, which route do I go? Already learning how to make decisions for myself. And God has blessed me with a strong personality. My name is Alcina. It means strong-minded. And as a part of that, I'm also stubborn and hard-headed. And there were things that I wanted to accomplish. And in order to do that, I had to make certain sacrifices. I had to, I chose to not listen to my parents because I knew that if I made certain decisions, it would put me in a good place. Even if they don't understand, that's okay. I've been blessed with parents that... I didn't have to stay back. I didn't have to stay back. I had the opportunity to be free and just go for it, even if it caused a little, some disruption at home. That's okay.
Yeah.
But yes, I had to choose early on, like, what I really asked myself, like, what is my identity? Maybe even if I didn't know it, right? But like really just having to make those decisions. But even then, I don't think I really found myself until later in my 20s, mid to late 20s.
Wow. Yeah, that's a huge thing. I don't think people acknowledge across all cultures too, especially like being a young age when you're finding yourself, and then you're also dealing with cultural things from your family and
hormones too.
Oh yeah, throw that in the mix, hormones, puberty, and your mind's still developing, you're finding who you are, certain level of Maslow hierarchy of needs. It's real interesting. And I think a lot of people kind of overlook that. That's a huge pivotal part of people's journeys, I think.
Are you taking the music seriously? Like, are you for real about it? Because people,
you take it seriously.
Of course you're taking it seriously. What are you talking about?
No, I mean like for real, like album.
What does that mean for real? Like album?
I mean, are you an artist? Are you going?
She's an artist. Of course she's the artist.
Well, she's an embodiment coach too, nigga.
You wanna go?
I'm gonna go. Let me go crazy. Let me turn them up for you. First off, did you listen to her EP?
I heard Breathe.
You heard the EP?
No, I heard Breathe. I'm not gonna hold you.
I heard her single.
I heard Breathe. I love Breathe.
It's amazing.
It's amazing, bro.
Yeah.
If you listen more into her music, you'd see that it's nothing than what she is. She is speaking this spiritual embodiment, coaching and positive energy and pushing that out there through the music as well. It's almost like all corners of everything you're doing is just so organic and it's really positive, and it kind of speaks to that same thing you were saying. It's like the self-healing, but now you're at a point where you're almost healing everybody else. I was speaking earlier before you got here. When I listened to your EP from beginning to end, the whole frequency changed.
Yeah,
The whole
from you
frequency
too.
of my
Like,
day
yeah.
changed. And I sat there for a moment and I was like, yo, that's powerful.
That's deep, bro.
That's powerful. That's very,
Got
very
some
powerful.
fans,
So
right?
that let me know.
Wow.
Number one, like
Thank you.
let that be known. Like
Yeah.
the frequency literally changed.
So is it all positive music? Is it all?
Wait, so I still want to talk. I want to
go
address
ahead.
what you said earlier. So, yes, I am an artist, and yes, I'm a coach. We are multifaceted.
Yeah.
We're multidimensional.
Very
Yeah,
complex.
it's very complex.
we
Yeah.
don't have to be
Don't put it in a box. Yeah.
And then secondly, just because someone doesn't have music out, or they're still working their day job, doesn't mean they're not an artist.
Boom.
I didn't say that.
You know what I'm saying?
All I'm saying is you got two things going on.
I just want to acknowledge people who are on that journey.
Yeah.
Like you are
1,000%.
yourself an artist in your own right too.
Yeah,
1,000%.
I agree. You heard the music? You guys both heard the
Yeah, I
music.
heard
Is
it.
it all positive?
I mean, she's
Great
doing.
message.
Yeah.
And great message. And it's very, very positive. Like,
Okay.
and I like the way, did you write all those songs yourself?
Yes.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I love the songwriting style because it's almost as if she is like, it's really like you're uplifting like
Edifying people out
other
here. Yeah.
people. So that's what's really crazy. It's like you're voicing like a healing energy out there that's really uplifting other people the way you write.
And
It's not as direct, but then you're also giving your own experience and kind of telling your own story at the same time on certain tracks that I hear. Very, very interesting. It is very positive. Very positive.
Yeah, I get that for sure. I feel like a lot of girls get power, from uplifting music. You remind me of Janae Aiko type of shit.
That's crazy.
Very positive, very uplifting. But where's the hurt girl music? A lot of girls love hurt girl music. They like to sing it in the shower, and you get power from it. You get power from the hurt girl music.
So let me say this, right? Because he said Janae Aiko, right? And
SZA.
when I was talking to Colin earlier, I was like, I was getting these vibes of like the same frequency of Janae Aiko or SZA. And I was telling Colin, SZA has this songwriting ability where the frequency is at a certain thing similar to yours. And she's also bringing you to this point where she's speaking on things that are on a darker side, but it's more self-reflective of her experiences and the things she's going through and, self-hate. And she's really speaking on experiences.
Yeah.
And the dichotomy of it is which makes her such a complex musician, which is why you see
SZA or her?
SZA.
Oh, okay.
Which is why you see her at certain levels. But that's years and years of her songwriting and finding
Development,
herself as an artist.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
It's far out.
And also, when it comes to music, it's what I've learned through this experience of creating it and the healing process. It's not just music. Like it's the energy, the frequency of the words, of the message. In order to tap in and appreciate the music that I create, you have to be tuned in at a specific level of consciousness.
Yes.
It requires for you to tap into a specific frequency. Otherwise, you're going to miss it.
Yeah.
It's timeless.
It is timeless.
It's timeless.
You are making timeless music for a fact. For a fact. I could play that back, that EP, just alone back years and years from now, and that frequency is still gonna be very healing, you know, like, and the music's just great. It's amazing. I also saw the video for Breathe, the music video, and I loved it.
Oh, thank you.
I love that. And you directed it as well.
Yeah, I went to Jamaica and then Cali and just made it happen. Yeah.
How did you come up with that idea?
So it's interesting. I don't think a lot of people know like the scenes or the breakdown of what it means. I'm curious from your perspective. Did you understand? Like, what did you take away from the music video?
Breathe.
If anything, breathe. Yes.
I got an interesting sort of thing from the music video. It seemed like in the intro, you know, there was this sort of like, not a dispute, but it was just kind of like this tension with you and your significant other. And I found that the transition into you out into this outer space where it's like this free space, and I'm looking at the background and you're in nature, and it's like you're taking a second to like breathe and then reflect, and then like the scenes change, and it was very, very, very cool visually.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
He's getting deep with it, bro.
I'm like a real art person.
Yeah.
Like,
And it's spiritual, so
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And it's
For me,
no, for real.
oh yeah,
Like, there be like real messages in the still. Like, that's why I'm like looking at like the director, and, like the editor, and like everything. It's like everything. I'm real into the art and the craft of how you got your message across visually. Like, that's amazing.
So I'll break it down. So I wanted to create a scene where people can relate. You get into arguments at home, whether it's with your partner or family. And I wanted to show that. I wanted to show something that everybody can relate to. What did I do from that? I go and meditate.
Yeah.
So the scenes that you're seeing, it's me going into my internal world.
Wow.
Your realm, okay. Yeah, I got you.
That's for that
Close
piece.
your eyes and meditate. Take a breath and know you're safe.
Only at Raw Refined.
So the first scene, it's me like just, open up my eyes, and where am I? I'm in the desert.
Yeah.
And when you're in the
Create
desert,
your own world. Yeah.
when you're in the desert and it's hot, and you're like, instead of panicking, right? You gotta cool your body by just breathing.
Yeah.
Breathe.
And then the second scene, it goes into the greenery, right? And then you also see the cliff as well.
Yeah.
There's a part where you see a snake, and every time people see the snake, they're
man.
like, what do? Make sure when you feel like you're in fight or flight, in danger, you gotta breathe. And then when you feel like you're hanging off the cliff, you're barely hanging on, make sure you breathe. So those were the elements.
Yeah. Wow. So like, because when I close my eyes, like I feel like that imagery, like I'm there with you, like in my space, like in my own realm, and like so it's pretty soothing.
It's
peaceful,
extremely soothing.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you need, because you said that you go away and breathe after you get into a dispute with your significant other. Do you feel like sometimes you need those emotions of, not hate, but anger, frustration,
But like,
stress? I feel like these emotions are there for a reason, so you can use. I don't think necessarily you need to heal from them, but you should be in control of them,
aware, self-aware. But like, it's about your communication style, like effective communication with your partner, like how you like communicate with your partner, and like understand your boundary. You draw that boundary into lines, and like you understand communicating that, right? Yeah. So like, from your your consultation with me, like you gave me tools to like to cope with like the things that I'm dealing with, and like
your emotions.
and emotion. I just want to thank you for that.
Thank you. And to your question, do I feel like I like, don't I need them? Like, and I don't have to feel them? So what is an emotion?
Good question.
An emotion is energy in motion.
Yes.
And what do you do with that? It's a tool. It's just showing you what energy is here and is present, and then you make a conscious choice of what you do from there.
Yeah.
So do you have to remove that? Do you have to heal from that? I mean, no, it's just, I'm angry and that's okay.
Yeah.
So what is it about my experience right now that I am not okay with? And usually anger happens when a value or a boundary has been crossed.
You crossed the line.
Let's dig into that. Well, what's the value or the boundary that has been crossed here? And when you're shown when you are shown what you don't want, you are shown what you also do want. But now it's just a teaching moment. It's a tool to recognize, okay, how do I sift and sort through this? I don't have to remove it and not ever be angry.
Yeah, that's what, like in Lion King, when Simba's father died, I think he needed that to happen for him to get the balls to actually rise up against Scar. He needed to use that trauma to fuel him to get back to where he belongs. And I think that's how a lot of people should use some of these emotions.
Life,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm kind of triggered by the word healing, because in 2020, there was a surge of conscious YouTubers talking about healing and eating fruit and going vegan. And
Wait, can I ask you?
Why does that trigger you?
Yeah,
Why is that trigger?
Because it's soft.
Just like.
Can I ask you something? So when you hear the word healing, like what shows up in your body? Like what are the physical sensations that come up when you hear healing?
Corny.
No, but that's the mind, right? But in your body, like I'm asking you to go into your body when you hear healing, what comes up in your body? What does it feel like?
Honestly.
No, seriously, think about that.
Because when I feel like what healing, like I'm picturing like that little scared little boy when I was like, in that back burner, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm just trying to like forgive that little boy that I was like that, where I went through my anecdotal experience, and like I'm just trying to heal from that, so like that's, I don't know.
But maybe you needed to embrace that. What is healing? Is it healing or erasing? Is healing erasing?
No, it's still part of you.
It's
come back to us. Yeah,
it's acknowledging these things. Like being self-aware is also knowing the past experiences that you had and the traumas that you carry with you, and
it's
being
part of
able
you
to acknowledge that, so okay, why am I triggered by this? Why does this thing make me angry all the time?
Yeah, why am I always in a fight or fight mode?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Why do I have issues with this in a relationship? Why do I doubt myself like this? It all stems from other things, and the only way to heal from it is to acknowledge it. In the Black community specifically, we brush stuff off all the time. Mental health isn't a thing that's discussed in our families.
It's very important.
Like, what's going on. Like, that's something that's just like, we gonna man up, men aren't gonna speak about their emotions and stuff. I grew up and it took me a while to get to a point, not even my own mother, where it's like, I'm saying like, I love you.
Yeah.
Like, hey mom,
because like,
that was not a regular thing I heard growing up.
Because as men, like we're taught to like, like put your feelings aside.
But you do,
and then like but like no, but you have like a balance of softness at the same time, and like vulnerability at the same time.
Okay,
I don't like the word softness though, because
I'm sorry, maybe my
check it out. You could be tapped into your emotions, and that's not a soft thing.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah,
it's actually
vulnerability.
It's actually very masculine.
What does that look like when a man's tapped into it? Does he just cry off a drop of a dot? Like what does that look like?
It looks like
should a man be crying?
It's okay to cry, bro. That's beautiful.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk
Your
about
girl's not going to respect you if you keep on crying.
You going to speak for us to say that we don't respect you if you don't cry? If anything, I have more respect that you are able to cry.
Exactly.
Why? Because tears, you know what tears are? Tears are just energy moving through your body.
Bro.
Hold on. You gotta respect your man if he just cries all the time. He cries
when he cries up. But I'm talking about tears alone, right? I'm not talking about crying all the time. Then that's something.
No, that's different.
That's something else.
Exactly.
But if you're crying because you're releasing something that's been suppressed inside your body, that takes strength and courage and vulnerability for you to admit I don't know something, or I'm not. I've got something that I need to work through. That it takes courage for a man to admit that.
100%.
Okay, I agree, but I also disagree, because where's the line? You expect a man to swallow up his emotions and actually make decisions.
No. That's a programming right there.
When a dude breaks into the house, do you have time? Oh my God! Or are you going to be a man and make a decision right now?
We're talking about different things right now.
All right, help me out.
You're talking about, okay, when, you said, do we expect man to swallow, like holding their emotions and be
you
strong?
You can't be emotion. You can't make decisions off emotion. Yeah, sure, tap into your emotions. But a man, I feel like, is built different. He has to operate off of his logic.
Yeah.
Instead of...
in some points, you have to be stoic. I understand you have to be stoic in certain...
Says who?
Like, no, but in a balance... it's a balance of both. You be... I mean...
You hear their narrative in the programming, y'all.
Is that programming? This is programming.
100%. That's programming.
Okay, maybe I need to break that cycle.
Bro,
then.
check it out. Like the balance between understanding, like there's a feminine and masculine energy aspect. I'm not talking about male or female.
Yeah,
I'm talking about energy aspect, a feminine energy and a masculine energy.
Okay, I'll give y'all that.
Both genders hold each one of these energies. The more balance you can bring, yin and yang, the more balance you can find in yourself. Yeah. To find that feminine side, you will find that other aspects of your life will change. And that's actually strength.
Because, like, in a way, I'm sorry. In a way, like, if you balance both, then you could tap into the female mind, and then, like, with that gentleness and like that vulnerability, you know how to be vulnerable with your partner's significant other.
Exactly.
So, like, to give you an example of what does balance masculine and feminine energy look like within you, right? It's the doing and the being, the giving and the receiving.
Giving and receiving, yeah.
I don't want to receive.
No, right? But then now you're blocking your abundance. Why would you say that?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, yeah. When you say it like that.
Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, you have all these blessings, you got abundance all around you, but you are like, I don't want to be my feminine. I don't want to receive. Like, but that's your feminine energy inside of you.
Because do you guys think, because it's like mainly because like it's part of like our conditioning, because since like, you need to be like this way, you have to be in your masculine type shit.
Don't you though, Christian? Not. I mean,
I have a soft side too. I have a gentleness. That's why, because I have like I want to love on other people. I pour into other people at the same time. So like so I'm conflicted. Because like I love.
But when you pour into yourself,
in myself,
there won't be an issue pouring into others.
Yes.
Exactly.
I get it. I see where you guys are going, but I'm still standing firm in what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm not trying to change you.
As a man, I feel like when you come here on earth as a man, yeah, sure, you have masculine and feminine.
If we have a primal, like,
but I feel like if you're a man, you have majority masculine. So you do have to uphold a certain image within this world.
A certain image?
Yes.
But according to whose standards?
If we're talking about a village or a tribe, the tribe's looking towards the men to do certain things.
Is the tribe not also looking towards the women?
It takes the village. With the women
need
as
you
well,
to continue the race. But yes, man, woman, and this is why I kind of want to. We're going into that realm. How do you feel about this red pill? I know you heard about it. All this red pill.
Heard about it? Yeah.
Masculine. Me, Tarzan, you, Jane, you do this.
Wait, I haven't heard of the Tarzan.
You never heard about?
I've heard of the red pill.
That was an example.
Okay.
Wow, I use this analogy to explain how I was feeling this week. So it's interesting that we're having this conversation this week. So for me, how I've been using the blue and the red pill. The blue pill is if you take it, you want to be content and it's not the truth, right?
Yeah.
And then taking the red pill, it is you are you want the truth, then you better be ready for all of it, right?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna choose the red pill
for sure. The path to more resistance.
Yeah. Within that red pill stuff, they do preach about women staying in their place.
Staying in our place?
You talking about that gender roles type shit, man? Like,
is that not the red pill, guys?
Yeah, I don't think that's the red pill.
I don't know what red pill we talking about.
What red pill you talking about?
I think it's
fresh and fit. Andrew Tate.
Yes.
No, all right. So if Fresh and Fit and Andrew Tate are the definition of red pill, then I think that's
not the main.
But are they men?
Face
are they right in what they're saying?
So is red pill just about being a man, like
masculine,
protected, primal?
That's what you think the red pill thing
We're talking about
is?
two different things. Then.
Yeah, we're talking about two different things because what I'm talking about when you say red pill, I can take it back to literally just like the Matrix type movie.
The
right?
Matrix, yeah.
I am aware. I'm so self-aware of what's going on, like consciously on a magna scale, that I can see the Matrix unfolding. Mm-hmm. I'm aware of my decisions. I'm aware of where I am.
Yeah, your self-consciousness.
Self-conscious of myself and what's going on. And on a spiritual level, like Neo, like, that's the red pill aspect of it to me.
Well,
I'm with you with that, brother.
Lines with that, because when you take the red pill, now you're in the real world, and now you have to be what the world wants you to be.
Is that the truth though? Because
that's not the red pill. That's not the red pill.
No, not at all. No, not at all.
Maybe that's your version.
Did Neo want to conform to what the world wanted him to be, or was he fighting against something the whole time, and that's why he took the red pill?
Okay, all right. Maybe I said it wrong. Was he not
going the path of most resistance?
But then you have to become the hero.
The hero's journey.
So you just gonna be have all this knowledge and do nothing with it.
You don't have to.
You don't have to
be the hero.
You have to be the hero of your story.
So you're gonna know all this stuff, and you're not gonna do anything about it.
No. Okay. Red. Okay. Like you on your hero's journey, you could be like the author and the actor in your movie. So you could choose whatever you want to do. It's one door right here, the red pill, and then you got the blue door. So which door you gonna pick? You gonna pick the red pill, then you gonna drink the red pill. You gonna drink the blue pill, you gonna swallow the blue pill.
Which journey do you want to take?
Yeah,
exactly.
All right, I get it. All right. I mean, I feel like we're arguing two different points. Because you guys understand what the hell I'm saying.
I understand.
Take the damn red pill.
No, yeah, I get what you're saying.
Because you're saying most people will take blue instead of.
But that's the status quo. The popular opinion.
Well,
yes, and I can bring it back to masculinity. Blue pill. What is the world trying to do with men? They're trying to feminize men.
Yes.
Do you believe that? Can you see that happening somewhere? Little Nas X, Bad Bunny.
Little Nas X.
Can you see that happening in the world?
I can't speak to that, but I personally, as a woman, I do find that the number of men, at least my experience in dating men and who I come across, I'm a lot more ambitious.
A lot more drive.
More driven.
Do you like that?
But the thing is, I have to be in more of my masculine energy as a result, because historically, I just haven't had that experience where I could be in my feminine.
Yeah.
Because
being submissive,
a man in his divine masculine energy hasn't. It's not abundant. I don't want to say it's not abundant, but it's not common.
Yeah. So you're saying there's a lot of soft ass men out here. Kind of what you're saying to me.
Subliminally, that's what she's saying.
And a part of that is men not choosing to choose the path of healing.
Yeah.
Yes.
You have to heal from. Yeah.
It comes back to healing, and why? It's coming back to yourself. When you are in your divine masculine and you have the balance of yin and yang and the masculine and feminine, energies in your body, you will show up differently. You're not going to have fear. You're not going to be emotionally unstable. Yeah. You're able to be grounded regardless of whatever is happening around you, regardless of who's around you. And you're able to own all of your emotions, your anger, your tears, your sadness, your joy, without feeling shame for it. Like shame, embarrassment, these are low vibrational energies.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Do you expect your man to be more ambitious than you?
I would love my man to be ambitious as me or ahead.
Yeah.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
And this is masculine energy is what I'm speaking about. This comes right back to what the hell I've been saying the whole time. Women want men who are men.
What does it take to get there, though?
Well, you say it's healing. Me, maybe it's a perspective. When you take that red pill, you're going to see the world for what it is.
And yourself.
Yes.
Well, and also, I also challenge that sometimes when the truth comes and it's
Ascended,
put in front of you, you have the choice. And if you're not ready, you're not going to accept it. That's the red pill right there.
Right there.
That's facts.
You just hit it right on the nail. Right that's there, facts. Right? If somebody comes to you and they're telling you something about yourself that's truthful, your immediate thing on some blue pill stuff is to get defensive and to be like, oh, this person, blah, 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 yada, 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 right? But if you're self-aware and, you're working on yourself and you already see the world for how it is, when this person now comes to you and say something, it's not going to make you emotionally distraught. Yeah. You're actually going to listen and be like, oh, okay, take it in one ear,
another.
Kind of give it a little bit of thought instead of being like, oh, you're blah, 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 and acting out,
Yeah.
Because I think it's natural as men, like we do get defense on defense in our ego. Our ego.
Y'all
pretty
got
much.
big ass ego.
We do.
Sure, big ass ego.
So we just have to check that, and try to and just try to. Yeah.
Because you were taught you gotta show up a certain way. Yes. You want to be a man. But that's old school. Like we this is different times now.
I don't like the new school.
Yeah.
I don't like the new.
Yeah.
I think men just need to
Red pill.
I'll say this. I think a lot of men now are very, and I'm not gonna say it's feminine, but there's no strength. And people become complacent in bad habits.
Yeah.
And with that,
cycles,
now you're looking at women a certain way because now it's like, I need to find a woman that is okay with my childish habits or my things because I'm not man enough to man up and change and better myself. So with that, now there's this frustration towards women. It's like this huge disconnect. And I think that's what's going on right now with our generation.
I would say there's a number of factors. I think because men have been pressured to be the provider and to show up a certain way, all that pressure at some point, you just like, yo, I just feel defeated. And if you didn't grow up with a father, if you didn't have male role models in your life, how do you know how to be a man?
Exactly.
Like, how can you have the confidence? If you didn't have resources, how can you show up in your light and in your power? Yes. So it's not about men being soft or feminine. I think it's just not having the confidence or just that journey of like coming back to yourself. But there's a number of factors that play into men, showing up as you guys.
Because for me, because my dad kicked me out of my house, so I had to defend for myself. So in that darkness, that kind of built me up, who I am today. And I do one day, I do want to build the courage to forgive my dad. So I'm in that process right now, because I did a lot of bad things that I'm not proud of, and there's a lot of distrust, and I caused a lot of pain, and from that I need to inwardly heal within myself, within that, and then find forgiveness in myself, and forgive my father as well, because it's so I'm in that journey, in that process, right now.
And that takes strength.
Yeah,
sure.
It does.
Most definitely.
It does.
But the darkness kind of is part of me, the darkness. But I understand there's I'm tunnel vision of there's a light under the tunnel. So I do have hope.
Do you think that it should be forgiven, or do you think that your personal trauma should be used to prove certain people wrong who said you couldn't do what you think you could do?
I mean, because I was being a bad son. I mean, I was a shitty ass son. I have to admit that, bro. And that takes humility
for sure.
And then you have to takes spiritual maturity as well too,
wisdom
as well. And and from that, you have to forgive your the people who wronged you. You know, like even though my dad, it was like didn't know how to like raise like. My dad provided for us. You know, so like and I was acting up type shit. You know, so like he did the best that he could. You know?
I don't know.
I know he did the best that he could. Like, you know, there's certain things like I have to let it go, bro.
I don't get energy from forgiveness. I think I get more energy from redemption and revenge. And I don't mean like killing you. I don't mean that, but I mean proving you fucking wrong. Because you said I couldn't do what I envisioned I could do.
Brother, who hurt you?
What do you mean? This is what I mean. Who hurt you? No, it's not who hurt you. Because I'm using that my transgressions to propel me forward.
But like that's a lot of like you need at one point that you need to get forgiveness within yourself though. Like you need to find peace.
I love myself. I love every.
Are you sure about that?
I love every bit of myself. I love myself way more than you would love me. This is what I mean. I care about my vision, and I came to this world to be me, and you're trying to change that.
Yeah,
that's where my vengeance and revenge come from.
Okay,
it comes from a deeper place. It's not. I get the healing and forgiving. That's cool and all, but I think sometimes, especially men, we need to use some of that dark energy to propel us forward.
To move forward?
She can do that. She's a woman. She can heal and do. Women deserve to be happy and live a comfortable life, soft life. I get that. See,
what is a soft life? I'm
a comfortable life without risk.
Whoa. Do you know who you're talking to?
I'm not talking. I'm not.
Elaborate.
You're walking in dark territory, my friend.
I prefer being uncomfortable. Rather than being comfortable.
So you use your darker energy.
Negative 10 degree weather, you have to chop down trees and all this.
Thank you. See, Kyle should be on the damn panel.
Am I what?
Kyle, do you want to sit over here with me?
Oh, it's hard to.
He said, in negative 10 degree weather, are you willing to chop down a tree to build a house? Okay, well, with that, let me.
Build a cabin for you and your family because you guys are stranded and you have no other needs. Are you, as a woman, are you willing to do that for the rest of your family? If you have to. And it was only you that could do that as a woman.
And you know what? I'm going to take that. I'm going to take what you just said and use a different, replace it with a different analogy.
Because I was going to do the same thing.
I am a pioneer in my family.
Okay.
And what that means is in order to heal, and I'm going to use that word again, like to break the generational cycles of poverty, of being low income, of this money thing, of, in order to propel my family and my family's lineage forward, I have to do the inner work. And the inner work is uncomfortable. It is not meant to be easy.
It's really
Nobody
uncomfortable.
said that the healing journey is soft and easy.
You like Milan.
No, it's no, that's racist.
Milan used darker energy to propel her forward.
No, but it's like it's me choosing to sit in my own discomfort and choosing to learn from that, and that takes a level of strength and consciousness to do.
Oh God, actually.
Like my life's journey isn't easy. Like it hasn't been easy to go from where I started in poverty, being, a child of immigrant parents, to where I am now. Like to say I'm of my family, and it's weird that I'm in this position because it's just the cards that I've been dealt with. I don't have a lot of family in the States. Most of my family are in Vietnam, and of my family members, I make the most amount of money and the most educated. Like I'm in that position, but in order to be in this position, I had to do the work. Mm-hmm. And that's not easy. Being a woman of color in the States, sure, there are some privileges that I have that other women in other countries don't, but that's me chopping the wood and providing for my family.
100%.
So let me ask you again. If it physically came down to that, though, would you, that's good metaphorically, but physically, would you be able to do that as a woman? Do you feel that you would go that mile if you had to?
If I had to survive,
it's about survival in this world.
Now here's the thing: if I had a man, if I had a partner, then that's the yin and the yang, right? It's like, hey, we're now tapping into each other's strengths.
Let me provide a little bit more
clarity
levels to this. All right.
The masculine energy in here.
Yeah, 100%. So as a man, would you, let me just ask Red this question. As a man, would you be willing to go through the full process of carrying a child and developing a child and giving birth to a child on your own in a situation where you had to make sure that your child is safe and you secured your family while your significant other wasn't there? You had to go through a lot of stuff. Do you think that you would be able to handle that? Be very honest with me.
I wouldn't know. No, I don't know. I'm a man, so I wouldn't know.
Okay, you're a man.
You know, that's not really. I don't know. I don't know if I would be able to carry a kid. That is crazy strength, though.
That's a lot of strength.
Crazy, and kudos. I'm not taking anything away from a woman, bro. I'm not. I appreciate women.
It seems like we're trying to downplay the fact.
Not at all.
You know, just from analogies, like, all right, would you build a house?
Well, women rely on men to do that. Come on.
I'm just saying physically.
Okay, and
physical work.
Break it down scientifically. We know that physically men have more muscle mass than women do.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
that's for a reason, right?
Yeah.
Everything's for a reason, right? Exactly.
Like buildings and construction and like
women give life.
Give life, yeah. Produce life, yeah.
So I think that's the whole thing. It's like there's a war on that because they're trying to bring in some kind of new thing internally into men to sway them away from creating buildings and building empires and doing all this shit.
Oh, for sure.
That have in previous generations come. That's the whole thing. That's the problem.
What's the thing that's being brought internally to sway men from doing that?
War on masculinity.
Yeah.
Like going back to the war on masculinity.
War on masculinity.
Who's posing this war on masculinity?
The industry, Harry Styles.
So is that coming from women or men?
I don't know who it's coming from. That's a great question. I have no clue.
I believe that it is coming from men.
But then it's distributed out to the masses, and then they pick that up and start believing it. It's like a false, in my opinion, it's like a false ideology that's then preached out to the masses.
So now going back to spirituality and healing, what does that mean? That means coming to yourself. Yeah. When you do that, at your core, you are able to discern what's your truth and what is someone else's. So people who are impressionable and are accepting that as their truth when and let's say supposedly it's not, then that's their choice that they're making, you know, because they're not aware. They don't even know who they are. And so now they're latching onto something externally. But trust that when you do the work and you go in and you get in tune with yourself and your soul's calling, the opportunities, the people, you're going to be attracting what's meant for you, and you become unstoppable.
Yeah, I totally agree with you with that. Like, it's like what's for you is for you, and what's not for you, that's not for you. Like, yeah. So in the balance, yeah.
I agree. We found it. I wasn't trying to be racist with Mulan.
I was kidding.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm just making sure. I just saw a comparison.
Are you being soft a little bit? You being soft?
You gotta be soft a little bit, right? You gotta be soft a little bit, right? so you tapping in. That was great. Yeah, that's an hour, right?
Yeah.
No, about an hour.
But Alcina, like, thank you for like being on, like, commenting, like,
yeah. I feel like we didn't even get a chance to really dive that deep in the conversation. I feel like I still had some questions.
Oh, perfect.
You
have another question? Go ahead. Shoot.
Yeah,
because you deep.
Yeah, for sure. What I kind of just want to know, like, what is your outlook for the future as an artist? Like, where do you want to take this to at like what level? Because people have different, goals set or different
end goals
views that they see themselves getting to respectively. Like, where do you want to take this?
I am so happy you asked that question because it gives me the opportunity to declare it into existence.
Affirming it.
For me, there are no limits. And I used to struggle with the question, like, who are you, and what kind of artist are you? For me, I make conscious music to heal.
Yes.
Right? And I create music that comes from my soul, and that's healing for me, and that is also healing for those who experience the music. Yes. So I'm so grateful and happy that the music, it's universal. Anyone can listen to it regardless of their age, regardless of culture, background. You tap in. Like, I see myself going internationally. I see myself at festivals. I see myself at retreats and being a part of the conscious movement. There's a huge community right now, and I don't know any other Asian artists that are doing conscious music. And with my coaching background, infusing that into music, that's my lane.
Oh, for sure.
That's it. That's my lane. And so when you mentioned Janae Aiko, like, I do see myself in the same room with her. She's a soul sister. She just doesn't know me yet. You know?
That's sensational.
She just doesn't know me yet. Like, but it's gonna happen.
So sensational.
Yeah.
There's very few artists, male or female, that I see in that lane, like, at all. You know.
Oh, there's a community.
There's a whole community, for sure. And I see it on different levels. Like, so Ab Soul is one of my, like, very favorite artists. Him and Earl Sweatshirt, and both of these artists at this point in their careers are very self-reflective, and they're speaking on, like, deeper spiritual things and really unraveling some, like, self. It's that darkness that's getting brought out, and it's in a positive way. It's like they're really just letting it all out, like it's therapy, you know. And I really think that once you get to, and it's like you're coming out the gate like that already, but once you get to that point where you're putting that positive energy out and spreading that sort of message, I don't think that there's any limit to what you can do.
Yeah,
you know, it's all. You're going to receive so much back just because you're giving so much into the world.
I appreciate it.
And we just, like, praise you, man. Like,
for sure.
Yeah, we praise you.
What a word.
So just what you're doing, like, for for the community, and, like, and just like, giving people, like, hope and stuff, and, like, spreading that positivity, you know.
And I think it hits home for, like, us because we're Vietnamese.
Yeah,
it's like, you know,
because I could look up to her, like,
Vietnamese connection.
For sure. Even if you're not Vietnamese, I'll tell you. Like, I felt super, like, you know, inspired when I heard your music. It definitely changed the frequency entirely.
My voice is healing.
It is very healing.
And then, like, we want you to keep on doing what you're doing, like, and just pushing, like, the good word, and just, like, the mission, and within that,
Last question: have you ever gotten your heart broken by a dude?
I think everybody has. Like, I have.
My first love of 8 years. My first love was of 8 years, and because and at one point I was in this relationship more than half of my life. Like, I was 13 all the way to, like, 21, 22. And because of that breakup, now it's like I'm not attached to the person. Like, if we, like, I can go through breakups and know that I'm gonna be okay because of that breakup.
Wow.
But because of that experience, I was suicidal. I was depressed.
I want to hear about that in the music. I want to hear when you was hurt.
You know what? How about this? I'm going to be creating a Patreon where, like, you guys can subscribe.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's music on the back end, so y'all can hear that.
Yeah, I need that hurt girl music.
I definitely want to, you know, start peeling back the layers of that.
Yeah,
your
the
music,
different layers.
Have you tell those stories and still on that same frequency.
Come back to healing.
That's like that's like Janae vibes right there.
For sure.
Yeah,
and that's powerful.
She's able to do that.
That's the balance there, you know, where I think, you know, we're very complex as humans.
Yeah, because, like, I feel like in today's world, like, there's a lot of music out there, like, that spread fallacies. Like, so, like, I mean, instead of, in a way, what you put out in the universe is kind of like you casting spells in a way, pretty much. I mean, if you want to say it or not, I mean, like, you are. It's like, it's very important, like, how you, like, you talking about, because you are programming people, pretty much, in a way.
That is why I'm not releasing that type of music. It's because I don't want to put out that frequency.
That frequency,
and then if I'm listening it to over and over, I'm reprogramming myself to the pain.
100%. 100%. You know.
But
We gotta have you back.
yeah, we.
Oh,
You gonna come back again? You
Are you?
Please, this is fun.
Yeah.
We like that.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
Awesome.
Well, thank you for tuning in. We
That's
signing out.
Alcina Tran. Check her out.
Go check
But
her
yeah,
out.
go check her stream. Go check her stream.
Follow her on Instagram
Thank you.
and all your DSPs.
YouTube.
Yeah.
That's our show. Raw Refined. Thank you.
Thank you.
Like, comment, subscribe, please.
Yes.
Yes.